Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, February double deuce, which is the 22nd. I'm Katie Tetzlaw, and I'm here on the Jess Strom Show as the host, Katie Tetzlaw, but with the main lady, Jessica Strom.
Yes, we haven't had many guests lately.
Everybody has class. It's so unfortunate.
Like they have to go to that.
They have to go to class, so it's just us two. It can't lead for an exciting show when it's just us all the time. Like, it's way cooler with the players. They have a lot more things to say. They have a lot more insight into the program. So basically, it's just two coaches chatting it up.
So maybe next week they can just skip class.
We don't allow that. You are quite, you know the rules. We don't allow that here. I'm the stickler. I'll get after it.
Just teasing.
Yeah,
Just
you better
teasing.
be teasing. You hear that, Cal U women's basketball? You better be in class. You better sit in the front row. Better take good notes. Listen, you're only going to get somewhere with that degree.
Joking.
Right?
Right, correct.
Right.
Go to class.
Go to class. Number one thing. Let's make sure that's a public service announcement to Cal U women's basketball. First things first. Student athlete for a reason. Tell them, Jess.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. So let's travel back in time. Let's give the people what they want here today. Talk about some games. It feels like a while. It was yesterday, a week from yesterday.
Valentine's Day.
Love was in the air. That's right.
Yes.
We had the show. Love was in the air.
Yes.
Bring a friend. We had a nice little crowd.
Yes, we did.
So
Valentine's Day.
people must have
It
brought
worked.
a date. It worked. Look at we are ready. So we had a great crowd, and we played Clarion at home in a must-win game. We went to overtime with Clarion the time before, the game before, and it kind of felt like in our practices we were catching a little bit of fire. I felt like before that game, it had felt differently how we looked, how we practiced than it did previously. Agreed?
Yeah. Well, and we had won, I think, 2 games before that, so we were kind of rolling a little bit. But yeah, headed into that game, like you said, we went to overtime last time. So, it was not a light game. I know we talked about that on the last show, coming in, being prepared, starting off strong, and just kind of putting everything together. I know we've talked about that all season long, a little bit of everything.
That was deep.
The banks were open on Valentine's Day.
Cashier checks, the banks were open on Valentine's Day, even though it's only a commercial holiday, not one for that the banks are closed.
But it's nice to see, and in these highlights, you can see a little bit of everything, a little bit of everybody. Sierra banking in the shot. Yanni, I think, had a really good game. There's Nina taking it to the basket. So everybody, I think, doing a little bit of what they do. Deja's just been pretty unbelievable with the second half of the season. And then you see there's Talia. And I'm just saying everybody's name. It was just a little bit of everybody. In
that's
this
what
game.
we love to see. Look at that. This also this play started a big run for us in terms of, I think it started all with that hustle play.
It was, and it's huge, and we talk about those a lot. We need those hustle plays. We need the 50-50 balls. We need to dive on the floor, and I think you're right. And then we talked a lot about also getting out in transition, running, getting some easy points, and I think we did a good job of that.
That was deep. Right off a handoff.
But for her, that's just normal, I guess. But steals to scores, running in transition, getting easy layups for us.
What a dime by Angel there.
And I love to see our bench too. Anyone that's on the bench is fired up. I think we were playing super unselfish basketball.
I was just going to say that, yep.
It didn't matter to us who scored.
Reverse.
And it's so fun when it's like this.
My favorite play of the game.
Hayden
and one bench.
fired
up, and she is one of the funniest people of all time. Oh my goodness, it was so great.
It was. Everybody was scoring, and it's nice to see our starters on the bench cheering. In a game like that too, for the people that maybe don't always get to play as much, who practice just as hard, and when they go and play, it's just as hard. So it's kind of a team effort.
Hustle stat on that: Angel Henry, 5 offensive rebounds.
And not a ton of time.
And not a ton of time. She gets off the ground.
Yeah.
Springy.
She is.
Like a little.
It's fun to see what everybody brings. When everybody gets a chance to play, it's just like everybody on our team brings something, and it's a little different for everybody. So in games like that, it's kind of cool to see. But it was nice, overtime there to come back here and play the same team and get a big win.
Had a way different feel.
Yes.
The end result had a different feel than when we were on the road against them. And I feel like recently it was the same way. I felt like after that game, odd for us because we didn't play that Saturday. We played Wednesday. We had the day off Thursday.
We did.
And we also had off Sunday, which was really, really great in terms of our bye week being there towards the tail end of our season. Get a little bit of fresher legs. You know, this time of the year, everybody feels the same way.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing hard. Everybody's playing for playoff spots. Everybody's playing to get in the playoffs. You know how it is. The last 10 games or the last 5 games almost feel like playoff games, don't you think?
Well, they basically are.
Because they're must win.
They are. They're must win. And we have some people with some banged up legs that need a little bit of rest, which it was nice to have a bye on a Saturday. We were off Thursday, practice Friday, Saturday, and then off Sunday. They get a lot of time to rest.
And we practiced early on Saturday, so it was super fun. All the players, I don't know why I love this. And I don't know why I have this pen in my hand. Just all of a sudden, look, here it is. But I'm holding on to it for the rest of the show. But it was kind of cool. Everybody's on board, man. When we were done with practice, I know we hustled home to watch the games that were on Saturday at 1. Our players, the group chat was fired up about what was going on around the league. It's so fun this time of year when you have people bought in to what you're trying to accomplish.
It's awesome. They're invested. Like we were off. They could have been doing anything on their off day, and they were choosing to watch the other games in the PSAC. Texting in the group message just about all the games they're watching and what they think. And it's cool because they care about it.
Yep.
Because we obviously care about it a lot. So when your players care about it too, it's really cool. The investment is awesome.
Yeah, love to see that. So from that bye week on Saturday, we had a nice long time to prepare for UPJ, which was yesterday. Obviously, a lot of movement, tons of set plays, so much offense to be able to scout and get ready for. But we had some time.
Yeah.
And thought that our players, again, the investment on film, the investment on scout. I think we were talking to somebody last night. I can't remember who we were talking about. I think it was Deja. She's like, I felt like really
prepared.
Really prepared. Like nothing that they kind of threw at us was really different. And she felt like, she said she thought everybody felt comfortable. And you could tell that because super proud of our defensive effort, man. 41 points given up to, I think, a great offense. UPJ players, they can shoot, they can
score. Man, they scored 86 last time.
They scored 86. We went to overtime against them last time as well. Scored 86 against us and then held them to 41 points, which there were so many times during that game where I was so fired up on our defensive effort. Again, we didn't score a bunch of points, but when you're giving up 41 points, you got a good shot of winning those games.
Yeah, and it's cool to see because I think that our players are completely bought into how we play, which is very defensive minded. So, I think, we say take it personal. They scored 86 points against us. Now, obviously, 2 of our better defenders didn't play in that game, but that doesn't matter. Like our expectations are the same for whoever's playing in the game.
Standard is the standard, Mike Tomlin.
It is, and but I think we wanted to prove something. 86 points is a lot of points. So
too much.
I think we came out in the first quarter, and we obviously gave up too many points in the first quarter last night also, but then really locked it down. I think we did a good job. Second half, we gave up 12 points in a half.
I mean,
so
pressure, getting in passing lanes, being aggressive, talking, like the communication was up a little bit. And then, when you have some people catch fire a little bit on the offense, not that we lit up the scoreboard or anything, but
that happens to us.
Yep, it happens, but we made baskets when we needed them.
Yeah, I think Deja was huge when we needed it, but also Alicia, she had 18 rebounds.
You called her the worm, Dennis Rodman.
She is the Dennis Rodman of
yesterday's. Dennis, she was. I was saying that on the bench. She was everywhere last night. On the ground for loose balls, on the glass, offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, switching, stealing, pressure city. Woo, what an effort. Just like an extra effort.
It is.
In terms of, it's
10
not fun.
offensive rebounds.
That's the dirty work
effort
that we talk about, though, because don't get me wrong, 18 boards does show up in the stat, but the hustle plays don't. You see 1 point on there.
No one cares. Yeah.
Not one person. I don't think one person cared that she scored 1 point. It was a full-out effort. And you stay in the game when you are playing with that much intensity and effort.
And she just plays so hard all the time that you're right. 18 rebounds, that's on the stat sheet. But also the tips, the pressure defense, the diving on the floor, that stuff does not show up. But it makes you a championship team.
Yeah, and 2 people that I also thought that stood out on defense last night, Nina and Joe. their defensive pressure on the ball.
Yeah, their effort is pretty outstanding. It's hard work.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I
not
think they're
easy.
just elite defenders, on ball defenders. Like, they just get after it. They work, great footwork, just active. I know personally myself, I don't want to dribble against that. I don't want to dribble. I mean, you can, don't get me wrong, but it's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
when
they make people uncomfortable.
I would be like, get this ball out of here. Like, get these two away from me.
Yeah, but I think everybody else too we were doing a better job communicating after the first quarter, communicating like Deja was saying, sticking to the scout, kind of knowing what they want to do and kind of trying to take that away.
Also, a couple things that I'd like to mention. I think some of our in-game adjustments have been much, much better for Cal U recently in terms of, hey, when we say something's going on and we want to maybe, not that we don't reinvent the wheel too much. I mean, we might have a few things here that tweaks, but a lot of in-game adjustments, our players have been much better with processing that information and then executing it.
Yeah, and I just think that takes practice.
Yep.
It just takes time. Like, a lot of them have never dealt with me that way. You know what I mean? Me too. So, like, maybe my language is a little different. I'm not too wordy.
You keep it pretty simple, pretty.
I do. I think so. But maybe, you know what I mean? They have to get used to my way of communicating.
More
also.
explanation. Yeah, it's less detailed.
I just think maybe we're on the same page now. You
Yep.
know, maybe we're just kind of communicating efficiently, but that happens with time. You know, the only ones that really have done it before, Deja has 2 years ago, but like Alicia and Jordan last year, I mean, Talia and Alicia a little bit, but, you know, like in the heat of games.
When the pressure's on, when you
Yeah.
have to, like, you know, really lock in and be present. And when you're making stuff, like, you know, there might be something that we've never done before and you're putting it on the board.
A lot of times it is something we've never done
It's
before.
fresh. And you really have to have a processing and an understanding where you're on the court and a knowledge of what you want, what you're looking for.
Yeah, I think we're definitely getting better
Heck
at
yeah.
that. We've
I
gotten
love
a lot
that.
better at that.
And I just think the overall confidence and overall, you know, we still had some turnovers that we didn't like, which I think you're going to have in a game, you know. But I feel like there's a little bit more on the same page. Everybody is both ends, because we kept saying, hey, wait till we catch fire on both ends. And I think, again, not lighting it up, but doing enough to where making enough plays, getting enough looks, seeing the looks that we want, that where you feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah, even we did not score a ton of points, but I also think the shots we took were makeable shots.
Absolutely.
So, you know, those are going to go, and I thought we took good shots. I didn't think it was, when we weren't sailing the ball out of bounds, I thought we took good shots. So
we put one in the equipment office. It's at the beginning of the game, and I think everybody was like, okay.
Get back on defense.
Let's get back on defense. Let's get a stop here, and you'll have that. But, you know, sometimes it's those things that maybe lighten up a moment. It'll drive you crazy, but they might lighten up a moment where everyone's like, whoop, let's get back to business.
And this is the thing about us. If we score 55 points, we better play great defense. And I thought we did. So
absolutely, you have
to.
Well, I mean, come on. Give credit where credit is due. 41 points for a great offense team that moves. I mean, there's a lot of
They almost averaged 70 points.
Yeah, so, man, I was fired up.
Yeah.
I was fired up. Real fired up.
Me too.
Yeah.
Big win.
Yes. You know, let's talk about a day coming up. You know, it's interesting. We have a huge game coming up this Saturday versus Mercyhurst. Obviously, went to overtime. Every game we say overtime. We were in overtime with them up at Mercyhurst. Pulled it out. We had a rough first quarter. I mean, rewatching that game, that first quarter was not enjoyable for the eyes.
Pretty.
It wasn't pretty. Found a way in the third. I mean, we kind of came back, chipped away in the second quarter, but had a big third quarter, a big second half. But a great team coming in, and a team that's right with us, fighting in the PSAC standings. Obviously, Gannon's at top, IUP's in second, but you see Cal U and Mercyhurst right there.
Yeah, you see us. Last night we finally put ourselves in third by ourselves. And then Mercyhurst, Edinburgh tied, and we obviously play both of them. So we play 3 out of the top 5 coming up. So huge games for us, but everybody still is just,
I mean, it's just
too close.
Well, here's the thing. Nothing is set in stone, really, besides the fact that Gannon and IUP are locked in. Those are the only 2 right now I still think, I don't know, there's some scenarios that I think that other people could be locked in. But Gannon and IUP are the only officially 2 teams right now that are locked into playoffs. Obviously seating's still in the air for everybody, but it is really welcome to the PSEC.
It is. So that's why Saturday is huge for us at home. A team that is one game behind us. It's not must win, but must win.
And let's talk about, before the game, we have a little ceremony. Saturday, by the way, is senior day, here to celebrate 3 people that we just obviously love. We love all our players. Let's not get it twisted. But, people that have come to us, actually 3 transfers. First time I think we have ever celebrated a senior day with 3 transfers.
Yeah, maybe, probably, but Deja does not seem like a transfer.
I know.
To me,
she seems like she's been here for
so
10
long.
years.
But yeah, 3 transfers. Yep. All different, very different situations too.
Yep, and which I think all found a home here at Cal U.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. They all had, like I said, very different
paths.
To
their journey.
Here, but
I will tell you, man, 3 players who are just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, in terms of personality, do you get 3 people that have personality like that in one group?
No.
Holy moly.
No.
Those 3, they're funny.
Funny.
So not only are they fun to be around, amazing women, number one, parents, family members, you raise those girls right. I should say you raise those women right. They're just awesome. All people that I think have contributed so much to Cal U in the amount of time that they've been here in so many various ways, whether it's on the court, off the court, just, their energy, their positive vibes in terms of how they are and relationships that we have built with them. I don't think you can find 3 funnier people. I mean, they're just wild.
Yeah, when I think about the 3 of them, obviously individually, but as a group.
Oh, my goodness.
When they are not here next year, the personality is going to be missed.
Oh, there's going to be there's going to be a void.
There's going to be a void because they are just goofy, funny, but just
genuinely fun. Just genuinely
fun to be around.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes, the job can be tough in terms of hours that you put in, and same with the players. But when you have a group of people that are fun to be around, not miserable, they come in I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody has their days, but when they're enjoying it and being like that, it makes our jobs way more enjoyable
I always
to be around.
say, obviously those 3, but everyone, we get up early.
Oh, all of them, all of our players.
Daily, and we come in and, they're always pleasant.
Good moods.
Yeah, they're in good moods. They're joking around. It's fun. It is. It's fun to be around them.
I love it.
All of them, but those 3 specifically because it's senior day, man. The personalities that those 3 have. And
I don't like to think about it until, to me, I obviously like senior, well, I have my things about senior day. I want to celebrate them, but I also don't think about them leaving because we got a lot of games left. Obviously we want to celebrate them. It's our last Saturday home game of the regular season. But to me, the job's not done. We want to celebrate them, give them their flowers for all their effort they put into college basketball. To be a college athlete is not easy. Make sure folks out there that we understand that being a college athlete is not easy. Don't get me wrong. I think it's enjoyable and it's you get a lot of rewards from it, but it's not easy. They put a lot of work in.
Effort. Yeah, sacrifices.
So a lot of times when you have things that you could be doing with your family or friends, like say people go on a trip, you sacrifice a lot of those things to contribute to your team. And to be there for your team and to be there for yourself, to represent yourself, your family, your university, us. They represent who we are. And I think they represent us well.
Oh, all 3 of them, I think, are, one, going to be super successful in whatever they choose to do because of their personalities, because of their work ethics, just how they are. But 2, I would feel so comfortable with them meeting any person at this university because I think they would represent us in the best way.
Yep, they're awesome. I can't say enough good things. I mean, we could spend a whole episode talking about those
We're not
guys.
going to because we have work to do.
Yeah,
and they're not leaving yet.
Yeah, we have work to do. We have a big game Saturday. We also have, after Saturday, 1 week of the final regular season.
Yes,
Where has
it's
time?
dwindling away on this upcoming schedule.
So here's our remaining schedule. Saturday, February 21st, this upcoming Saturday, senior day, versus Mercyhurst. Then Wednesday at home versus IUP. And then our last home game, not home game, our last regular season game of the year on Saturday, March the 2nd. Wow. 3 games left. Cal U Vulcans, and these, again, we treat them as playoff games. They're all important.
They all are very important, not just for us, for the other teams. That's what we tried to say last night, too. UPJ is fighting. They are fighting for, a playoff spot. So, like, everybody's going to come with their best shot.
Do you find it wild, Jess, that a team like UPJ with over 500 record fighting to get in the playoffs?
It's wild. Well, we talk about it all the time, but the west side of the PSAC is unbelievable. Like, it's so close from top to bottom that
you're fighting to get in the playoffs with a over 500 record.
I think
that's
they're
what I'm
a good
saying.
team.
To get in the playoffs. It's wild. The wild, wild west, baby.
It is. It's any day. But now especially, like, it's going to be about who wants it more and who can execute. Because everybody's fighting. Yeah. It's going to be about that. And experience doesn't hurt. People being in big games, players playing in those games before, I think, is helpful too.
Yep. What are you most looking forward to these last 3 games?
Probably just this time of year gets me real fired up. Like, this is the best time. You go through the whole season, and this season flew by.
We were just saying that. Fastest one that I think the season after COVID went quick because I feel like we were away from basketball, and then we jumped right in, and it went quick. I said this one by far, by a landslide, fastest season I've ever been a part of.
It really is, and I don't know if it's because I really enjoy this team a lot, so I'm kind of trying to hold on to the
There's
last
no
month
dread coming to work, man.
No.
I've never felt that coming to Cal U, though. Like, they work hard. We might miss the mark on execution sometimes. We might, miss some shots here and there that, I think that frustrate our players just as much as that frustrates us. They come to work. They put their hard hats on. They get after it. They give us their effort and their energy every day.
Yeah, they do. So I'm looking forward to us kind of, we've won, I think, 4 in a row?
4 in a row.
4 in a row. So just kind of putting it together and kind of trying to take the momentum into these huge games. But it feels like playoff time.
And if there's ever a time, I'll put it out there. I have no problem. If there's ever a time to start making the climb and where you're going uphill, it's now.
Yeah, you want to be playing your best basketball at this time. You put in all the work all year long. You go through some things, that are frustrating at the time, but you learn to get to this point, to put yourself in a good position, to be fighting, for the seeding in the playoffs, to make the playoffs, to make the regional rankings. Like, that's why you put in all the time. That's why you do the preseason. So, like, for me, I'm super excited for our players to kind of see that the hard work is for this part of the season.
For this reason.
Yeah.
So, folks, you heard it here, and getting close to that end of the regular season, but we're taking it game by game, day by day. Saturday, this is February 24th, correct? Yep. 1 p.m. is our game versus Mercyhurst. But, folks, you hear me out here. Come early. Come 12:25. We have 3 people we want to represent for Senior Day. Celebrate. Give them their flowers. Give them a special shout-out. And then we need all the support we can get from Vulcan Nation. 1 p.m. here when we play Mercyhurst here at the Convocation Center at Cal U. So follow along. We'd love to see you here. Let's go Vulcans.